What's up, Bulldogs? Just about to head out for my run here, and I thought I'd answer a quick question that I got. Someone was asking me how to handle embarrassment, right? So like if you're in a public situation and you get embarrassed, how do you handle that? And yeah, that's a good question. I mean, here's the thing. Look, you got to understand that it doesn't really matter what people think, right? Here's the thing about it as well, right? Why are things embarrassing? Why do you look silly? Why do you feel uncomfortable? Let me ask that question. Why do you feel uncomfortable when you get embarrassed? And the main reason why is because you perceive that people are judging you. You perceive that you're uncomfortable. You feel uncomfortable. That's what it comes down to, right? And so there's a really important concept in biology called mirror neurons. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but mirror neurons are certain neurons in the brain that mimic other people and what they're doing in their emotions, right? And so that's why if you watch a movie and it's a sad movie and the character in the movie is upset or depressed or something like that, it will make you feel kind of sad, or like you can feel their emotions to a degree. That's where empathy comes from, is we can detect when someone is feeling a certain way by their kind of micro expressions that happen, right? And so why am I telling you this? Because what I'm trying to get you to understand is that the reason why you feel uncomfortable is because you're making other people feel uncomfortable. So that's why you're embarrassed, because the way that you're thinking, the way that you're perceiving the situation, and the way that you're acting is what's making people feel uncomfortable, which reflecting back to you, and now you feel uncomfortable. So there's a simple cure to this, which is to not feel uncomfortable. Now, that might seem like, oh, wow, John, yeah, duh. Okay, next time I'm embarrassed, I won't feel uncomfortable. And there we go. Thank you. That's great. How can I sign up for your coaching advice? Here's the thing. What do I say all the time? I tell you to do things that make you feel uncomfortable so that you can get out of your comfort zone, so that you can expand your comfort bubble. We want to expand a comfort bubble. And so, first of all, if you do that and you continually do that, there's going to be less things that are going to make you embarrassed, right? So for instance, take myself, right? I'm making videos. I'm not embarrassed by that. When I'm speaking in front of the camera, I'm not uncomfortable doing that, right? If I have to go and speak on a stage, I'm not uncomfortable doing that. If I have to go and talk to someone I don't know, I'm not really uncomfortable doing that. And I talk to people all the time. And so there's very few things that are going to embarrass me. If anything, I can't even imagine what would embarrass me. Even if I don't know, was in my underwear and farted in public, maybe that would be slightly embarrassing. I don't know. I really don't even feel like it would be. Like, I don't know what circumstance that would happen, but hey, if it does, then yeah, maybe I'd be embarrassed. But do you understand what I'm saying? What I'm telling you is that it has to be sort of a proactive type of thing, is that if you want to decrease the amount of times that you're going to be embarrassed and being embarrassed, then you have to put yourself into the uncomfortable situations, which will build some amount of resilience in you where you're not going to be embarrassed as easily and you're not going to be uncomfortable. The second thing I would say about this is that when you're in that situation, all right, this is what I used to tell guys all the time when I was coaching guys on how to pick up women in person. I would show them this. But what you want to do is you want to break the tension, because the reason why people are uncomfortable when you're in an embarrassing situation is because they're uncomfortable for you. Again, those mirror neurons, that's what's going on here. And so if you can make them comfortable, you'll make yourself comfortable. Okay, so here's how this works. Let's say that you go up to, you're going to go up to a girl. Let's just use that in this context. And she's attractive, your heart is stopping. You're like, oh my God, you're nervous, right? And you go up to her and you're like, hey, my name is yeah, I don't remember my name. Whatever. I don't know. Okay. Let's say that you do something like that. Okay. Now in that moment, I guess you're probably going to be embarrassed, right? I mean, if you can't remember your name, you say something stupid, whatever it is. Okay. In that moment, all you have to do is just be honest about your current internal state. So instead of trying to hide the embarrassment, instead of trying to hide the discomfort and the nervousness, just name it, just say it. And then you could say to this lady, right? You just say, hey, I'm pretty nervous about talking to you. I don't do this very often, and it's really outside of my comfort zone. I'm pretty nervous about this. I feel pretty embarrassed that I couldn't remember my name. That's it. I know I'm making it sound easier than it is, and I'm using an extreme example. But if you get what I'm saying, then you get the concept behind this is that you're going to make people comfortable by calling out the thing that they're afraid to call out, that they're feeling that embarrassment for you. Does that make sense? Do you get this? Right? If you can master this, I'm telling you, you never need to feel embarrassed again, and your social situations are going to go a lot better. Imagine you trip and fall, okay, when you're you're walking into a party and it's like there's a bunch of people there and you just trip and you fall and you got your drink and it spills all over you. What are you going to do in that situation? What do most people do in that situation? Most people, what they're going to do in that situation is they're going to try and play it off. They're going to, try to clean it up real quickly, hope no one saw that. They're going to try to pretend like it didn't happen. Some people might self-deprecate and be like, oh my God, I'm such a, oh God, right? And make people feel even more uncomfortable. People are already feeling uncomfortable. So using what I just told you, how would you handle that situation? Let's say that you trip and fall. How would you do it? I'll tell you how I would do it. I'd lay down on the ground with the drink. I would take what's remaining in the drink as I'm laying on the ground. People are like, I don't know. Is this guy alive? What happened to him? Is he going to cry? Right? And I would take the remainder of that drink and I'd pour it on my head. And then I'd say, it's so refreshing. You know what I mean? Or I'd say, wow, that's embarrassing, man. Wow. Walk into the party, fall on the ground, drop the drink on myself. Or I would say, hey, can someone give me a hand over here? I just tripped. And just fell and spilled a drink all over myself. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like, how can you be embarrassed in that situation when you handle it that way? And how are other people going to respond in that case? They're not uncomfortable anymore because you've made it not uncomfortable. You've made the situation light, right? You've lightened it. You've given some levity to the situation, which now makes it where, are people going to make fun of you? Okay, maybe someone will make fun of you. So what? Let them make fun of you. Who cares? Everyone else is going to be against that person for making fun of you when you've treated it this way and you've given it some levity. Do you know what I mean? So that's how you handle this, right? Is you don't allow yourself to be taken by the emotion that's going on there. You don't allow that uncomfortable situation to persist because you break the ice on it. You're the one who says, okay, I'm not going to continue this. I'm going to stop this from continuing to occur. So that's it. If you want more lessons like this, I've got a bunch in the Bulldog Mindset membership. I know I tell you guys about it every single video, but hey, look, this is the deal. If you want these kind of videos that are more raw videos where I'm just, I'm not trying to do some kind of clickbait stuff, which I'm not going to do anymore, then, the membership is what supports it. So click the link down below, join us on this quest, and let's make 2025 the best year ever. And let's stop being uncomfortable. Let's stop being embarrassed. We don't need to be. All right. I'll see you tomorrow.